Yashoda Nandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Mishrapada Paramahamsa Parivrajakarya Ashwadhara Sri Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder-Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Mishrapada Paramahamsa Parivrajakarya Ashwadhara Sri Srimad-Bhagavatam Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Gaudi Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem Saka Ho Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Vadhyata Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-Vrinda ki Jai. Grandharaj Srimad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 15, entitled Bali Maharaj Conquers the Heavenly Planets. So, the beginning of the chapter, we'll read the summary. This chapter describes how Bali, after performing the Vishwajit Yajna, received the benediction of a chariot and various kinds of paraphernalia for war, with which he attacked the king of heaven. All the demigods, being afraid of him, left the heavenly planet and went away following the instructions of their guru. Maharaj Parikshit wanted to understand how Lord Vamanadev, on the plea of taking 3 places of land from Bali Maharaj, took everything away from him and arrested him. Shukadev Goswami responded to this inquiry with the following explanation. In the fight between the demons and the demigods, as described in the 11th chapter of this canto, Bali was defeated and he died in the fight, but by the grace of Shukracharya, he regained his life. Thus, he engaged himself in the service of Shukracharya, his spiritual master. The descendant of Bhrigu, being pleased with him, engaged him in the Vishwajit Yajna. When this Yajna was performed, from the fire of Yajna came a chariot, horses, a flag, a bow, armor, and 2 quivers of arrows. Maharaj Prahlad, Bali Maharaj's grandfather, gave Bali an eternal garland of flowers, and Shukracharya gave him a conch shell. Bali Maharaj, after offering obeisances to Prahlad, the Brahmanas and his spiritual master Shukracharya equipped himself to fight with Indra and went to Indrapuri with his soldiers. Blowing his conch shell, he attacked the outskirts of Indra's kingdom. When Indra saw Bali Maharaj's prowess, he went to his own spiritual master Brihaspati, told him about Bali's strength, and inquired about his duty. Brihaspati informed the demigods that because Bali had been endowed with extraordinary power by the Brahmanas, the demigods could not fight with him. Their only hope was to gain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indeed, there was no alternative. Under these circumstances, Brihaspati advised the demigods to leave the heavenly planets and keep themselves somewhere invisible. The demigods followed his order, and Bali Maharaj, along with his associate, gained the entire kingdom of Indra. The descendants of Bhrigu Muni, being very affectionate to their disciple, Bali Maharaj engaged him in performing 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. In this way, Bali enjoyed the opulences of the heavenly planets. So this is the summary of the chapter. Because there are not many purports, we'll pretty much read through many verses of this chapter. So we'll first read verses 1 and 2. Shri Rajo Vacha Bhale Padatrayam Bhume Kasmat Dhariraya Chata Bhutveshwara Kripanaval Labdharthobi Babanthatam. So we'll read the first one together. Shri Rajo Vacha Bhale padatrayam bhume kasmat dharir ayachata bhuteshwara kripanaval labdharthobi babandhatam. Shri-Rajo vacha Bale padatrayam bhume kasmat dhariracheta bhuteshwara kripanaval labdharthobi babandhatam. Shri-Rajo vacha Bale padatrayam bhume kasmat dharir ayachata bhuteshwara kripanaval labdharthobi babandhatam. Shri-Rajo vacha Tobi babandhatam. Edad vedidam ichchamo mahal kautuhalam hina yancheshwarasya punyasya bandhanam chapi anagasaha. So we'll read word to word translation responsibly, please. Sri Raja Uvacha. The king said, Balehe, O Bali Maharaj, Padatrayam, 3 steps, Bhumehe, of land, Kasmat, why? Harihi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Vamana. Ayachata, begged. Bhutva Ishvaraha, the proprietor of all the universe. Kripanaval, like a poor man. Labdha artha, he got the gift. Api, although. Babandha, arrested. Tam, him. Bali. Etad, all this. Veditum, to understand. Ichhamaha, we desire. Mahat, very great. Kautuhalam, eagerness. He, indeed. Naha, our. Yancha, begging. Ishwarasya, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purnasya, who is full in everything. Bandhanam, arresting. Cha, also. Api, although. Anagasaha, of he who was faultless. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit inquired, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the proprietor of everything. Why did he beg 3 spaces of land from Bali Maharaj like a poor man. And when he got the gift for which he had begged, why did he nonetheless arrest Bali Maharaj? I am very much anxious to know the mystery of these contradictions. So we will read through multiple verses. Verse 3. Shri Shuka uvacha parajidra Sri adhubhischa pito Hindrena rajan bhrugubhi sajivita sarvatmanatan bhajat bhrugubali shishyo mahatmartha nivedanena. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, when Bali Maharaj lost all his opulence and died in the fight, Shukracharya, a descendant of Bhrigu Muni, brought him back to life. Because of this, the great soul Bali Maharaj became a disciple of Shukracharya and began to serve him with great faith, offering everything he had. Verse 4. Tam brahmana bhrgava priyamana ayajayinyashvajita trinakam jigishamanam vidhina bhishinchya mahabhishekena mahanubhavaha. The Brahmana, descendant of Bhrigu Muni, were very pleased with Bali Maharaj, who desired to conquer the kingdom of Indra. Therefore, after purifying him and properly bathing him according to regulative principles, they engaged him in performing the yajna known as Vishwajit. Tatho radha kanjana pattanadho hvayascha haryashvaduranga varna dhvajascha simhena virajamano hudashana dasa havir bhirishtat. When ghee, clarified butter, was offered in the fire of sacrifice, there appeared from the fire a celestial chariot covered with gold and silk. There also appeared yellow horses like those of Indra and a flag marked with a lion. Verse 6. Dhanushcha divyam puradopanadham turnavariktau kavacham cha divyam pidamahastasya dadocha malam mlana amlana pushpam jalacham cha shukra. A glided bow, 2 quivers of infallible arrows, and celestial armor also appeared. Bali Maharaj's grandfather Prahlad Maharaj offered Bali Maharaj a garland of flowers that would never fade, and Shukracharya gave him a conch shell. Verse 7. Evam saviprarjitayo dhanartha staikalpita swastayano dhavipran pradakshini gritya krita pranama Praradamamandriya namaschakara. When Maharaj Bali had thus performed the special ritualistic ceremony advised with the Brahmana and had received their grace, the equipment for fighting, he circumambulated the Brahmanas and offered them obeisances. He also saluted Prahlad Maharaj and offered obeisances to him. Verse 8 and 9. Adharuhya ratham divyam bhrigudattam maharatha susragdharotha samnahya dhanvi ghadgi dhritoshritihi hemangadala satbahu spuran makara kundala raraja radhamarudha dishnyasta iva hyavyavat. Then, after getting on the chariot given by Shukracharya, Bali Maharaj decorated with a nice garland, put protective armor on his body, equipped himself with a bow, and took up a sword and quiver of arrows. When he sat down on the seat of the chariot, his arms decorated with golden bangles and his ears with sapphire earrings, he shone like a worshipable fire. Verse 10 and 11. Tulyaishwarya balashribhi sayuthair daityayutapaihi pibadbhir iva ghamdrikbhir dadhabhir parithin iva vrto vikrishan mahatim asurim dhvajanim vibhuhu yayo indrapurim sruddham Kampayaniva Rodasi. When he assembled with his own soldiers and the demon in chiefs, he were equal to him in strength, opulence and beauty. they appeared as if they would swallow the sky and burn all directions with their vision. After thus gathering the demoniac soldiers, Bali Maharaj departed for the opulent capital of Indra. Indeed, he seemed to make the entire surface of the world tremble. Ramyan Upavanodhyane Śrīmad Nandanaadipihi Kujat Vihanga Midhunaihi Gayan Matta Madhuvrataihi Pravala Palapushporu Bhara Shakha Maradrumaihi. King Indra's city was full of pleasing orchids and gardens such as Nandakana. Because of the weight of the flowers, leaves and fruits, the branches of the eternally existing trees were bending down. The garden were visited by pairs of chirping birds and singing bees. The entire atmosphere was celestial. Hamsa Sarasa Chakrahva Karandva Kula Kulaha Nalinyo Yatra Kridandi Pramada Surasevitaha. Beautiful woman protected by the demigods sported in the gardens, which had lotus ponds full of swans, cranes, chakravakas and ducks. Akasha Gangaya Devya Vrudam Parigabhutaya Prakarena Agni Varnena Sataleno Natena Cha. The city was surrounded by trenches full of Ganges water, known as Akashaganga, and by a high wall, which was the color of fire. Upon this wall were parapets for fighting. Rukmapatta Kapadaischa Dware Spatiga Gopurehi Jushtam Vibhakta Prabandham Vishwakarma Vinirmitam. The doors were made of solid gold plates and the gates were of excellent marble. They were linked by various public roads. These were linked by various public roads. The entire city had been constructed by Vishwakarma. Sabha Chatvara Radhyadhyam Vimaner Nyayabudhir Yutam Shringadagir Manimayer Vrajavidruma Vedibhi. The city was full of courtyards, wide road, assembly houses, and not less than 100 million airplanes. The crossroads were made of pearl, and there were sitting places made of diamond and corals. Tatra Nitya Vayorupa Shama Virajavasasaha Brajande Rupavanaryo Hyarchubhiriva Vanaya. Everlasting, beautiful and youthful women who were dressed with clean garments glittered in the city like fires and with flames. They all possess the quality of Shama. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Vishwanath Thakur gives a hint of the quality of Shama woman. Shitagale bhaved ushna, ushnagale suchitalaha stano Sugandhino yasam tashyama parigirtita. A woman whose body is very warm during the winter and cool during the summer and who generally has very firm breasts is called Shama. Verse 18. Surestrigesha vibhrashta nava saugandhika strajam yatramodam upadaya margovati marutaha. The breezing blowing in the street of the city bore the fragrance of the flowers falling from the hair of the woman of the demigods. Verse 19. Hema jalaksha nirgachad dhumena guru gandhina pandurena pradichanna margayanti surapriyaha. Apsaras passed on the street which were covered with the white fragrant smoke of agaru incense emanating from windows of those golden filigree. Muktavitaner manihema kedubhir Nana patakavalabhibhiravrutam Shighandiparavadabhranganaditam Vaimanikastri Kalagida-mangalam. The city was shaded by canopies decorated with pearls, and the domes of the palaces had flags of pearls and gold. The city always resounded with the vibrations of peacock, pigeons, and bees, and above the city flew airplanes full of beautiful women who constantly chanted auspicious songs that were very pleasing to the ear. Mridanga shankha nagadundhubhisvanai satala veena Murajeshta venubhir nrityai savadyair upadeva gitagair manoramam swa pradabhya jita prabham. The city was filled with the sounds of mridangas, conch shells, kettle drums, flute, and well-tuned stringed instruments, all playing in concert. There was constant dancing, and the Gandharvas sang. The combined beauty of Indrapuri defeated beauty personified. Yamna vrajandi adharmishtha khalabhura dhura shathaha menina kamino lubdha eberhina vrajandiyat. No one who was sinful, envious, violent toward other living entities, cunning, falsely proud, lusty, or greedy could enter that city. The people who lived there were all devoid of these faults. Tam devadhanim savarudhani padar bahis samantarurudhe pratanyaya acharya dattam jalajam mahaswanam dadho prayutya Bhayamindra Yoshitam. Bali Maharaj, who was commander of numberless soldiers, gathered his soldiers outside the abode of Indra and attacked it from all directions. He sounded the conch shell given him by the spiritual master Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, thus creating a fearful situation for the woman protected by Indra. Makhamamstam abhipretya Bale paramam udyamam sarvadeva ganopeto gurumeda uvachaha. Seeing Bali Maharaj's indefatigable endeavor and understanding his motive, King Indra along with the other demigods approached the spiritual master Brihaspati and spoke as follows. Bhagavan udyamo bhuyan balerna purva vairinaha avishahyam imam manye Kenasi tejasorditaha. My Lord, our old enemy Bali Maharaj now has new enthusiasm, and he has obtained such astonishing power that we think that perhaps we cannot resist his prowess. Nainam kaschit kuto vapi pradivyodham adhisharaha pibanniva Mukhenedam lihanniva disho dacha dahanniva disho dribhe samvrata gnir ivothitaha. No one anywhere can counteract his military arrangement of Balis. It now appears the Bali is trying to drink up the entire universe with his mouth, lick up the 10 directions with his tongue, and raise fire in every direction with his eyes. Indeed, he has arisen like the annihilating fire known as Samvartaka. Bruhi karanam edasya durdharshastvasya madriboho ojas saho balam tejo yateta samudyamaha. Kindly inform me what is the cause for Bali Maharaj's strength, endeavor, influence and victory. How has he become so enthusiastic? Shri Guru Ruvacha Janami Makhavan Chatror Unnatarasya Karanam Shishyayopa Bhrutam Tejo Bhrugubir Brahmavadibhi. Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigod, said, O Indra, I know the cause of your enemies becoming so powerful. The Brahmana, descendant of Bhrigumuni, being pleased by Bali Maharaj, the disciple, endowed him with such extraordinary power. So we'll read the purport. Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, informed Indra, ordinarily Bali and his force could not achieve such strength, but it appears that the Brahmana descendant of Bhrigumani, being pleased with Bali Maharaj, endowed them with the spiritual power. In other words, Brihaspati informed Indra that Bali Maharaj's prowess was not his own, but that of his exalted Guru Shukracharya. We sing in our daily prayers, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya aprasadat nagati kutopi. By the pleasure of the spiritual master, one can get extraordinary power, especially in spiritual advancement. The blessings of the spiritual master are more powerful than one's personal endeavor for such advancement. Narottam Das Thakur therefore says, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Kuriya Aikya Arana Karihe Mane Asha. Especially for spiritual advancement, one should carry out the bona fide order of the spiritual master. By the parampara system, one can thus be endowed with the original spiritual power coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Evam parampara praptam imam rajashreyo viduhu. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada explains the secret of spiritual success, which is the pleasure of the spiritual master, the blessings of the spiritual master. As it is mentioned here, superior is the blessings of the spiritual master than one's own endeavor. From this we can understand how important it is to please the spiritual master. This is the essence of the spiritual life, and if we don't get this point, then the spiritual life will not be successful. We can see in the parampara, seeing from our spiritual masters, they are so dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. From their youth till the old age, they are serving Srila Prabhupada. That is the root of their spiritual success. That is the root of their spiritual strength. If you look at Srila Prabhupada, one instruction of his spiritual master, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, one instruction: preach in the Western world the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. This was the instruction he obtained in his early 20s, and he carried forward that instruction all the way till he left this planet. So that is the strength of Srila Prabhupada. So we can see Srila Prabhupada is from the spiritual world. He has all the blessings of Krishna. He has been sent forth by Krishna. But in his pastimes in this world, he showed he is simply carrying out the order of his spiritual master. We know the example of Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. He was so dedicated to his spiritual master, so much so that he was ready to give up his life to get initiated from his Guru Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. We see Lord Chaitanya simply followed the order of his spiritual master, Ishwarapuri. Ishwarapuri told him, you go and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When he met with Mayavadis in Banaras, Prakashananda Saraswati and his followers, Lord Chaitanya humbly presented himself. My Guru told me that I don't have any qualifications to study and understand Vedanta Sutra. Na Vedantar Adhikar. I don't have Adhikar for that. But simply chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And when I chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I was overwhelmed in ecstasy. I was completely covered by bliss. I was almost becoming like a madman. And I approached and told my spiritual master, this is what happened when I chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing what is the ultimate effect of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. One is completely covered in ecstasy. Anandam Budhivarthanam Pratipatam Purnamridaswadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So this is been demonstrated by Lord Chaitanya. Ishwarabari, his spiritual master, told that I am very pleased with the effects of your chanting, because this is the perfection of chanting. So we can see how Lord Chaitanya pleased his spiritual master. His spiritual master, Ishwarabari, he pleased Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri was on his deathbed, and Ramachandra Puri was looking after him. And when Madhavendra Puri was crying in ecstasy, he was crying in ecstasy, feeling separation from Krishna. He was in the mood of Srimati Radharani. He was meditating on that mood of Srimati Radharani, being separated from Krishna. And in that meditation, Madhavendra Puri started crying. Ai Dina Dayadra Natha Hai. He started reciting the verse, Ai, alas, Dina Dayadra Natha Hai. Oh Lord, you are so merciful to the wretched. Now you are the Madhura Natha. You are the Lord of the Madhura. You are not in Vrindavan. So in that mood, the residents of Vrindavan, Gopis, Radharani, was lamenting. And Madhavendra Puri, meditating on this, was lamenting and crying. At that point, Ramachandra Puri started preaching Mayavad philosophy. He started telling, my Guru Maharaj is crying. So it looks like he needs to know that we are not the body, we are the soul, we are Brahman, and that's it. Be in that equanimity, so don't cry. And Madhavendra Puri, he was already lamenting in spiritual ecstasy. And he saw his disciple speaking Mayavad philosophy. He was thinking, what's really going on? He was completely displeased by hearing this Mayavad philosophy, which is literally denying the existence of Krishna. So one is in spiritual ecstasy thinking about Krishna, and somebody is denying Krishna right in front of him, that too his own disciple. That too the time he is about to leave the world. So how great misfortune one could have. So at that point, Ramachandra Puri left, and later he became a Mayavadi. He left devotion service, it's mentioned. He left devotion service, even criticized Lord Chaitanya. We know all those pastimes. So this is displeasing the spiritual master, and Madhavendra Puri pleased the spiritual master by serving him. Ishwarabari obtained that opportunity to serve his spiritual master in a very intimate way, because he was practically invalid. So all the media services Ishwarabari performed for his spiritual master, and because Ishwarabari pleased his spiritual master in such an intimate fashion, he got the blessings, so much so that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, became his disciple. So the Lord himself appeared to be the disciple of Sri Ishwara Puri. So this is the power of blessings of the spiritual master. So in the spiritual life, we need to know the importance of the spiritual master. First, we need a spiritual master. We need to understand there is no option but to accept a spiritual master. This is the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprashrena seveya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshinaha. Fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says, is one of the most important verses of Bhagavad Gita. One need to accept a spiritual master. Serve the spiritual master. Hear his instruction. Serve the spiritual master. Inquire. So in this way, one has to be connected to the spiritual master. That is evam parampara praptam. That is yasya prasadat bhagavat prasada. Yasya aprasadat nagati kutopi. By placing spiritual master, one can attain perfection. By displacing him, there is no gati. There is no hope. So what can we do? First, we need to have a spiritual master. After having a spiritual master, go and ask spiritual master. We can hear from the spiritual master. We can understand his mood and mission. Understand that and act according to the instructions of the spiritual master. So we have multiple spiritual masters coming here. It doesn't matter which spiritual master. Whoever is following Srila Prabhupada, who is in disciplic succession in ISKCON, any spiritual master is fine. We may think we need a very special spiritual master. But the reality is all spiritual masters are special. And in essence, their instructions are also the same. But the problem is, do we follow? That's the main question. If we follow the instructions of the spiritual master, spiritual success is guaranteed. How do we know the spiritual master is pleased? If the spiritual master is on the planet, we can go and we can speak to the spiritual master. This is how we know. So there is no extreme mysticism in it. It is very, very simple. So we need to take this opportunity to accept a spiritual master and serve the spiritual master, and in that way please the spiritual master. And we all have Srila Prabhupada as the Founder-Acharya, as the Param Guru. At this point in time, if you see now, the marathon is starting. Srila Prabhupada book distribution marathon is starting. This is indeed a great way of pleasing Srila Prabhupada and all the spiritual masters. Srila Prabhupada presented all these books for the benefit of the entire world. Ultimately, this knowledge was presented by Vyasadeva. Later in our parampara, all this knowledge was presented by the Goswamis of Vrindavan, under the direct instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are indebted to Goswamis. And even at the time of Goswamis and straight after their departure, or along that time, book distribution started in our parampara. So if you ask about book distribution, when it was started 500 years back. Shyamananda Prabhu, Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasa Acharya, they were entrusted with all the original manuscripts written by the Goswamis of Vrindavan, and they were sent forth to Bengal and Orissa. Later, there is a pastime how they reached, but in essence, there were many scribes who used to copy these manuscripts. They would make many copies and distribute. For example, think about Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, thousands of verses. They used to write down. All the sandarbhas they used to write down, and then they used to distribute. Because by that, there will be change in consciousness. So book distribution started straight from the time of Lord Chaitanya, and they encouraged. One time I received a mail, many of you might have received this common mail, where there was this inscriptions of book distribution scores presented. Have you seen that? Book distribution scores. This year, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 3 copies distributed. Chaitanya Charitamrita, few copies. Lakhu Bhagavatamrita, this many copies. Chaitanya Mangal, this many copies. Chaitanya Bhagavat, this many copies. Can you see? So that time, they noted down how many books were distributed. So Srila Prabhupada is carrying that parampara worldwide, because we don't have the capacity to understand Goswami literature in its original form in Sanskrit. It is too complicated. Probably will not even understand even if we attempt to. And we don't have time either. So those knowledge, all those literature, all the knowledge that is coming from parampara, evam parampara praptam, Srila Prabhupada is presenting in the form of Bhaktivedanta purports. Everything is there. And Srila Prabhupada was very pleased when his books were distributed. How book distribution started? Who started book distribution? Who started book distribution? Do you know? Who started book distribution? Who started distributing Prabhupada's books? Any idea? Who started distributing Srila Prabhupada's books? Srila Prabhupada himself. He used to write, he used to edit, he used to print and publish. He used to sell. He used to distribute his own books. In Delhi, he started in Delhi. Then he went to America. he started distributing books in America. He started distributing books in America in the initial college programs. After the program, he would speak to people, distribute books, and collect some money. Prabhupada started distributing because he knew that this is going to transform the consciousness of people. And that's the reality that we can see now. These books are going to change the consciousness of the people. We can know for ourselves by reading these books and applying it. Carefully read these books, Srila Prabhupada's books. There is a change in consciousness straight away. And it becomes more evident when we see others reading and changing their lives. When you do Western outreach, speaking to different people. Recently I was speaking to one girl who comes along for the programs, Ashley. I was hearing from Dijay Prabhu that she was answering all the questions. When I give a talk, she was answering all the questions, very enthusiastic, accepting everything. Even I asked quite straight questions, she is able to answer. Was wondering how things are happening. She already read Science of Self-Realization and now reading Bhagavad Gita, maybe halfway through or more. And such an appreciation. This is a person from London, from England, and no background whatsoever on spirituality or Krishna consciousness. By reading Srila Prabhupada's books, such an advancement is made. So the actual preacher is Srila Prabhupada. We are simply facilitating Prabhupada knowledge to be transferred through books, maybe by lecture, maybe by discussion. So the real preacher is Srila Prabhupada. If we read his books, Prabhupada is preaching. So we can see again and again, non-Indian people who have no background with Krishna consciousness, just reading Srila Prabhupada's books and changing their lifestyle. So this is certainly a motivation for us to go out and distribute these books. Of course, for those who are from India, it's much easier, and we have appreciation for Bhagavad Gita. If you ask anyone, yeah, we know Bhagavad Gita. But the question is, have we got Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada? Why? It has purports, which explains the parampara knowledge, and it has that transformative effects straight away. So this is what we want. We can see in our lives, and we can see in others' life. So when we see this kind of transformation from those who have no background in Indian culture or Krishna consciousness, it becomes evident, isn't it, that such a potency for these books. Srila Prabhupada's time, even book distribution started in a very organic fashion. They didn't know how to distribute books. One time, a devotee went to fuel station, and in exchange of money for the fuel, he gave a book. He started speaking about book. Okay, it was a barter. Okay, you fill the fuel, I give you a book. So he took the book, the fuel station owner took the book happily. Then he thought, this is a good idea. I am giving out these books and people are accepting these books. Then he tried to give someone else a book and got some money. Then it became a thing. They started telling, yes, this is how we can distribute books. Distributing one book, two books, whole day distributing 3-4 books. It was a big thing. I remember one devotee was giving a lecture and he was giving the Sunday feast class. They distributed, I don't know, a few Bhagavad Gitas, I don't know, 4, 5 or 6. And the devotees distributed and came. He was just eagerly waiting the class to finish, to make the announcement, to tell everyone, I have distributed 4 or 5 Bhagavad Gitas, and it was a big thing. Can you see? That's how it started. And then it became a wildfire. Prabhupada encouraged, and so many devotees were made by simply distributing books. The book distribution sustained devotees, book distribution sustained temple, and book distribution made so many devotees. So this is the power of book distribution. And then Christmas became a very good time because people are in a very generous mood, ready to spend money, distribute books, and collect some Lakshmi. So they are getting benefited. And Christmas Marathon became a big event in whole of ISKCON. It is like devotees were going and they were selling books everywhere. One day, how many books were distributed during that time? How many thousands? Do you remember? A few thousands of books in one day, isn't it? One Sankirtan party would go out and they distribute a few thousands of books, mainly a lot of Krishna books, Bhagavad Gita and other books, few thousands of books in a day. That was the enthusiasm. So book distribution needs simply enthusiasm. If you are enthusiastic, books will go. Is it true? If you are enthusiastic, we are saying that this is good. If you are enthusiastic, we are telling the whole world, this is good, this is working. And if you give, and you just tell something about the book, people will take the book. It is as simple as that. It's not a complicated procedure. It's not that you need to know Bhagavad Gita in and out. No need to go and quote all the verses of Bhagavad Gita. If you start quoting verses, people will not take Bhagavad Gita, especially non-Indians, isn't it? If you start reciting verses, thinking this is something dogmatic, probably let's stay away from this. So it is very simple. And this is the time, this is the opportunity to distribute Srila Prabhupada's book. We can buy book, we can distribute books. This is the time. So we have this marathon starting on 24th of November, Sunday. Not this Sunday, the Sunday after 24th, we are starting Christmas Srila Prabhupada book distribution marathon for a month, 24th of November till 24th of December. So we need to take opportunity to distribute these books and get into the dynamics of book distribution and feel the bliss of book distribution, isn't it? We can only, if we want to taste good sweet rice, the only way you can taste sweet rice is by tasting it. Similarly, if you want to taste the nectar of book distribution, only way is you have to distribute books. Then you feel it. You feel happy. You feel being connected to Parampara. You feel being connected to Srila Prabhupada. So this is book distribution. And for book distribution, we have many, many options. First, I will explain an option, those who do not have a lot of time. Okay? Do not have any time. For you, what you can do. That is the O bad challenge. O bad. Bad doesn't mean bad. Bad is good. In the current terminology, bad is good. So it's O bad is O good actually. O bad means one Bhagavad Gita a day. So what you do? First, you buy 30 Bhagavad Gitas. Correct? You can approach Dija Prabhu or anyone. Buy 30 Bhagavad Gitas. Every day, take one Bhagavad Gita. Wherever you go, try, stop a person, tell this is Bhagavad Gita, explain a bit of Bhagavad Gita, which we can explain to you if you don't know what to speak, and then ask for a donation. And hardbound Bhagavad Gita, how much it costs? It's beautiful Bhagavad Gita, hardbound, so many beautiful pages. Outside such kind of a book would easily cost $30 or $40, isn't it? And what is the cost? Just $15 because we just want to cover the price. That's it. $15. Help us with a donation. If you can cover the cost, is good. If you give anything more, it helps us to distribute more books, share this wisdom to many people. In this way, we can distribute one Bhagavad Gita a day. This is the minimum quota, I would say. This is the minimum we can do. Buy 30 Bhagavad Gitas, 2 boxes, one Bhagavad Gita, or 32 in 2 boxes, whichever is convenient, 30 or 32. Just get and try every day. You will be amazed how Krishna, Srila Prabhupada will make the arrangement so that they will make sure that books will go and Lakshmi will come. You have to endeavor. This is Bhagavad Gita. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. Krishna tells Arjuna, Nimitta matram bhava, you just be an instrument, savyasachin. You are a savyasachi. You are ambidextrous. But just be a nimitta. Just be an instrument. So we have to try, rest the Lord will take care. So especially we can see in book distribution, just being an instrument in the hands of Krishna. We may not have any qualification. We don't have to be a good speaker. We don't need to know a lot of philosophy. Only need to have desire and enthusiasm. You will see how Krishna reciprocates and more books will start going. Vijay Prabhu, who has been a book distribution minister for so many decades. He full-time distributor for ages. Vijay Prabhu mentioned a very interesting point. In a marathon time, especially, the books will jump out of the book box. If you go with a bag or box for book distribution, books will jump out. Why? the mercy. You can see that. We can experience. If we cannot distribute any books, pray to Krishna, you'll see books will be going. So this is the one option of doing it, or bad challenge. Don't forget, or bad. One Bhagavad Gita a day. Please distribute. This is the basic. But definitely you can do more. You make a list of your contacts. I'm telling you, easy options. Make a list of your contacts and start giving them Bhagavad Gita. We can sell them Bhagavad Gita. You have a function. Do you have birthday party? Are you going somewhere? You give Bhagavad Gita to others. You give Bhagavad Gita to your friends. You sell 10 Bhagavad Gita to one of your contacts. Let them distribute 10 Bhagavad Gita. Let them also take part in this distribution program. So make a list, contact distribution. Then we can definitely go to the street. We can go to the street and we can try. If you want training, there are devotees who are going. There are many devotees who are going out for book distribution. Prabhus and Matajis. You can tag along and see what to do. We have option. If people want to give a donation in cash, they can give in cash. They want to tap, they can give tap. In any way, they can do that. So that is another way we can do. Another option is you can go door to door. You can go to your neighborhood. Not necessarily here. Don't do it here. Not near the temple. But go to places. You're living in western suburb, east and north, wherever. Go to your neighborhood. Don't go with one book. Go with a set of books. Bhagavad Gita, SSR, Krishna book, everything. Go with a bundle and ask them, look, this is a very special month. We are sharing this knowledge and this is what it is. Just give a donation to cover the cost. You will be amazed how people take books. So, Krishna book, you can give to children. 90 stories of Krishna. Distribute Krishna books. So amazing. So in this way, we can do door to door. We can do Obad, one Bhagavad Gita a day. We can give books to our contacts. We can go to street. We can go door to door. Easy, not so difficult. And you will be caught by surprise how people are taking these books. Only thing, we need to have the faith. Many times we think, others are not interested. No, let's have the faith and then we can see people are taking books. So amazing. Then if we cannot do anything, if we are so busy, or you can do one of this, you can do Obad, and then you can give a donation for Shastradan. Shastradan means give the Lakshmi, particularly you had to give particularly for Shastradan. You can contact Dijapidambar Prabhu and give the Lakshmi in the title of Shastradan, not some other name, Shastradan. Then that Lakshmi will be used to buy books and distribute in different places. Street libraries, maybe correction centers, maybe other libraries, or those who are needy. So we give books for free for all these different avenues. So in this way we can take part in that as well. So we need to do multiple things. Why? We have a lot of books. We have about 14,000 Mahabig books in our storage here in Melbourne. So we need the cooperation from everyone. Spread the mercy. We have hundreds of Bhagavatams as well in English and in all other Indian languages. So we can distribute those books as well. So it is such an opportunity to please our spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada, and the entire parampara. So this verse is speaking about pleasing the spiritual master, and here we have a golden opportunity to do that. We simply have to take part. If you are a Bhakti-Vriksha leader, definitely give a stack of books to each members. I was telling a Bhakti-Vriksha leader, don't give to family, husband, wife. Give individually. Give them individual targets. Give them books. Okay, you need to distribute 5 or 10, everyone. So one Bhakti-Vriksha can distribute so many books. Isn't it amazing? Why? We need to create this culture in those who are coming up. The culture of book distribution. It is our culture. We need to give that training. We need to encourage them. So year after year, they will be inspired to distribute books. I was hearing from multiple devotees who have full-time job. They take 1 month off to distribute books. Can you imagine? Generally, we think 1 month off and go to Vrindavan. These devotees were mentioning we take 1 month off and distribute books every marathon. Some who cannot do that, they said, we do 2 weeks. Some said, I will take 1 week off and distribute books. So glorious is that. You think Mahaprabhu will be so pleased with that. Prabhupada will be so pleased with that because we are utilizing our time in helping others. Many times, people from India initially think, oh, we didn't start our Krishna consciousness reading a book. We directly came to a Bhakti Vriksha, we came to a youth program, we came to the temple, that's how we became devotees. Which is true, but the sustenance of our Krishna consciousness is based on these books. And if you go beyond the Indian diaspora, if you go wide, non-Indian community, all those who have become devotees, we can say that they started their Krishna consciousness primarily by reading Srila Prabhupada's books. We know in our ashram, those who are joined, those who are not from India, they started their Krishna consciousness journey by getting a copy of Srila Prabhupada's book. That's how they started. So it is so important, so essential. So very happy to speak about this, and it is the right time for us to prepare ourselves mentally as well as in terms of resources and time. Arrange our services such that we have time for some book distribution. So I stop here and see if there are any questions or comments.
Regarding book distribution.
If you want, is there a microphone? One second. No, because it has to go to the... Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Like the book distribution, you said like we should buy some books and then we should distribute. So if we are giving to say friend or a family, shall we give it for free or we should take some donation?
It's up to you. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If they are giving it doesn't really matter whether we take money or not. It's up to the situation. Generally, friends and family, it's optional. Even if you give for free, it's fine. There's no problem at all. Generally, on street, it is better to take some donation. Why? People, things which they are getting for free, they don't value. They can even throw away easily. You know, those who do not know, if you just go out and just handing out Bhagavad Gitas, it's like handing out flyers, people can throw it. People may not value. So if you are, those who do not know anything about the book, if you are giving, it is important to collect a donation. You can give for free unless they really don't have money and they are very interested, we can give for free. It's okay, we can cover the donation, we can give from our pocket, that we can do. That is fine. But friends and family, it's optional. If you want to ask for a donation, you can. If not, it's okay. So if anyone gives a donation, that is for their benefit, because they are taking part in distributing books in that way. So it's beneficial, it's up to them. Thank you. Any other points? Not anything? Okay. Thank you very much. Granthraj Srimad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.